Yo, what up, people? I'm back in here with another episode of Because It's Necessary, the podcast of self-discovery, understanding, self-improvement, mindfulness, and discernment. Today is October 7th, 2022. Oh yeah, do like, comment, and subscribe. Mention it to your friends as well. And as always, these are just my views and opinions. Take them or leave them. Hope they can help someone. One day or many days. Shout out Dave Chappelle. That man crazy, man. I love Dave Chappelle perspective. Oh, speaking of that, that's what today's episode is on. It's about perspective. In the dictionary, there are a few different definitions of perspective. But the one that I'm talking about today on today's episode is a particular attitude toward or a way of regarding something. A point of view. That's the official literal definition. To me, your perspective is a culmination of all of the knowledge and understanding that you may or may not have. Your view on the world, people, girls, white people, rappers, Michael Jordan versus LeBron James, Trump supporters, church, these people who are out here ruining their lives for sex. I don't feel bad for these guys. But most perspectives that are anyway intelligent is going to be aren't going to be black and white, I should say. You know, it's going to have some nuance to it, meaning that you can have your view on the topic, but also know that everything has different factors within it. Like you can still get some positivity out of a negative person. Okay? If you want. That's if you want, you know. Because people are nuanced creatures. No person is absolutely good and no person is completely bad. And if you think someone is, you lack understanding of being a human being. The nuance in that statement is your perception of what good and bad is and your perspective of the person. An ignorant person can say all black people are bad or have a fear of us. A lot of times we get our perspectives from people from TV and movies. My question to you is that a valid perspective? I mean, that's on you. But speaking of TV, I was just thinking about, this just came to my mind, politics. I'm not a political person, but there are a lot of people out here who get their perspectives from like Fox News or CNN, you know, and that goes back to what I said, is it a valid perspective? Because a lot of times these people, they'll listen to their people who they're affiliated with, and they'll go along with them 100%, even though they don't agree with them 100%. They'll say, I'm with them, so they're right. Like I said, I'm not into politics, but I've definitely spoken to many people who are. They have different morals than I have, values, and I'm just going off of, you know, what I've seen and experienced from that perspective. But I look at politics as just another way to divide people. But if it isn't one divide, it's another. You know, everything in this world is divisive. Race divides us. It's like people are always in the process of destroying each other. Even when it comes down to religion, that's another way to divide us. We get separated from our beliefs and our spirituality. You know, some people believe in the Big Bang Theory and evolution. Me, myself, I believe that there is a God. I believe we all were created intentionally. Some people are good at using someone's perspective on a topic to dismiss them or cut them off, instead of hearing another point of view, accepting and understanding that neither of you may agree on that topic. I'm definitely guilty of that. I've definitely been guilty of that in the past, but I'm working on it. I mean, I have an understanding and I know it now, so I can actually do something about it. But they'll disagree and then just dismiss and don't want to have anything else to do with the person anymore. And not realizing that your perspective can sound wild or even stupid to the other person, and accept that and understand that as well. the same way that you're looking at that person and can't believe that they don't agree with you, they could be looking at you the same way. Surprise! You ever had a conversation with a person that could last an hour, and then you're like, I don't see how this person don't agree or doesn't understand where I'm coming from. They just seem like they're, like I said, they seem like they might be stupid in your eyes. But what you got to do is agree. The term agree to disagree, and keep it moving, man. We want to have a conversation or a debate, and we want to try to change the person's mind. Well, maybe it's not about that. Maybe it's about you getting information from them. I mean, you got to get something out the conversation. Our perspectives have an effect on how we process information. But your perspective doesn't have to make you. You can search for more information to change your views. I came up with a couple of hypothetical situations for you to have some perspective on. I say there's a person that was raised in a nice area with nice weather, never had to face much adversity, was raised by both parents, was an only child, never had to share anything at home, was spoiled. Second scenario, imagine a person raised in a place where they get a lot of rain, was raised by a single parent, school situation wasn't the best for them, and the neighborhood was rough. I'm not going to give my perspective on the potential for each of them, or the likely outcome for each of the people. Nothing is guaranteed to happen for either of them. I mean, those were minor details for each example, but you can use your perspective to think of what their perspective may be in the life that they're living. But you could be totally wrong, and it doesn't matter, because I'm just hoping to give you understanding of why people have the views that they have and do what they do. I mean, some of my perspective come from being a black man in America, but most of my perspective comes from being this black man in America, right? Because that's specific to my life and what I've gone through. But that's everyone. Okay, I want to discuss with myself a little off topic, but it's in the same house as perspective. I want to give it an honorable mention. Honorable mention. Shout out to Drake. The topic is opinions. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this is I have a story, and it took me years to understand what the situation was. So I remember I was at a cookout at my cousin's house. This was years ago. I was debating with my other family members about opinions and what it was. I was saying, if you don't know anything about the topic, that your statement on the topic wasn't called an opinion. But I couldn't figure out what the name of the word would be for that situation. And everyone else was saying that it's still an opinion. They were right, okay? But they couldn't prove it to me that day. I know I was wrong because the correct answer was presented to me years later. I learned a statement called invalid opinions. Your opinion is not valid. It's like asking a person, a white man, what their opinions on being a black man in America is. They would have no idea. If they give an answer other than, I don't know, it's an invalid opinion. Invalid opinion alert is what I'll say to people when they have one. So you're welcome, my two loyal listeners. That can be comfort for you when you're listening to invalid opinions running rampant out in the world. Sleep well, because she didn't know what the hell she was talking about. Today, there are a lot of invalid truths, lies. Shout out to the movie Get 'Em to the Greek. But thanks for taking that journey with me, guys. I know it was off topic, off path. Back to perspective to close out. I believe your opinion is the answer to a topic, and your perspective is your reason for the answer. Remember, your perspective is an always changing and always growing ability, even if you don't realize it. Your 20-year-old self didn't have the same perspective as yourself today. You've got more information. You've experienced more things. All right, so before we go, I have another example of perspective to help us understand it a little bit better. If you don't already understand it, just think about your favorite movie. It's not likely that anybody else that you meet is going to have the same favorite movie. Not saying it's not possible for anybody that you meet to have the same favorite movie, but if they do have the same favorite movie, it's not, more than likely, it's not for the same reason that you do, because of what you're seeing in the movie, what you're understanding from the movie, what you've already been through that makes you think a certain way, and what triggers something that you like in the movie, what triggers something that makes you feel a certain way about the movie. You know, that goes with TV shows. It could be songs, music, what triggers emotion in you because of certain things that happen in your life. And you know, even when you like a person or don't like a person, not like romantically like, I mean, just like what makes you take to a person, why you like a person, why you don't like a person. Those will be your perspectives on those topics. Oh yeah, I want to give a recommendation for a song to listen to. It's called "Love Yours" by J. Cole. It gives it's a good song about perspective, positive perspective. I'm going to leave y'all with something. It's a question. What's your opinion of yourself? And what's your perspective of yourself? I hope this episode helped someone and made sense to everyone, but I know it's not. And on that note, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, tell a neighbor, mention it to a stranger. This has been another episode of Because It's Necessary, Because It's Necessary, Because It's Necessary. I'm out. Peace. Thank you, Lord.